Food Waste by Amalia Maragoto, Cesar Pacheco, Fernando González, Pedro Cordero, and George Pellegrin.
Food waste is the result of an action. The action of making our meal and the foods, the ingredients that we use, we didn't use them totally because there is always something that we take to the trash. There is always that something. For example, a potato. We peel the potato, and that peel can be turned into a little chips that can be used as snacks. And that's not the only form of food waste. Also, the food that we have at the bottom of our fridges that we forget that they are there. But when we go to the supermarket, we are, oh yeah, I needed some onions and also some carrots. But you have carrots and onions at your home. But the thing is, you don't want to eat it. Why? Because you say, that's too old. That's one of the reasons of food waste. Overbuying. You're buying for the future, but you want in the future fresh things. So there is a redundant cycle here where our products we buy it. We are losing money, but we want fresh things. Instead of buying for for the next three days, you buy for a whole week. But then you go to the supermarket again because you forgot something, and you buy again those same products. And at the end, the ones that are old will inevitably end up in the trash. That's a big form of food waste in our houses. We all do it. Like, we gotta face it. We all do it. And the dangerous thing with the food waste is that it creates CO2 in the environment, which results into the creating of a greenhouse effect in the areas where it is more food waste. There is actually no real reason to increase the food waste. Many restaurants I should be encouraged to use the totality of the ingredients that they used, and so
Moving on, various things we learned about food waste include that all the world's nearly 1 billion hungry people could be fed on less than a quarter of the food that is wasted in the US, the UK, and Europe. Food waste is no joke. There are a lot of people who might need the food that is being thrown away. Speaking in a more environmental way, we learned that food waste does not only harm humans, but it harms the environment. Environmentally speaking, it is important as we keep foods out of landfills because it might harm the environment, especially places like the Amazon where there are a lot of trees and plants. The biggest thing we learned about food waste is that, and the most shocking fact is that 63 million tons of food have been wasted in the past year, meaning that dollars are being wasted, and this means that many uneaten food is thrown away around the world.
After watching and analyzing the videos, we've come to learn the importance of food waste reduction. Excessive food waste can get to have a great and severe impact, negative impact, on natural resources and the environment, along with the plethora of processes that come together in order to process and package and transport all that food. Tons of water is used up, tons of natural resources are funneled into processing food, only for around 28% to be completely wasted. The fact that this impacts our environment and our resources so severely is enough for us to know that food waste reduction is something we should do as much as we can. We can do this by learning how to properly prepare our meals, using alternative recipes that use up food waste, use leftovers in order to fertilize for plants. There's a plethora of processes we can do in order to reduce food waste. So we should implement them into our household lives because every little effort matters.
One of the best ways to reduce your own food waste is by recycling your own leftovers or scraps. Most of our foods nowadays involve peeling and deboning and more. But if we took these scraps and simply stored them to use later, we could reduce a significant amount of food waste. One example is by making this simple broth. Since we all have some leftover turkey from the past Thanksgiving festivities, we can make this simple recipe and just some leftover bones, meats, and even vegetable skins and scraps.
Our original meal would be a zero waste turkey. We first cook the turkey and what is left over, such as the bones, potato skin, onion peels, and many more different types of vegetables. Put them in a pot with water and burn the leftovers until there is a broth rising. This can be used to make different types of soup and or ramen. By using the leftovers of the turkey, there is zero waste and none of the leftover vegetables or skins are thrown away.